And now I just... Oh, yes.
Where's Rachel? Where is she? Where'd you... Harvey? Where did you put her? Where did Harvey put Rachel? Hello. Hello. You're watching Nerdish. Nerdish. I lost my shoe. You gotta put your shoe back on. Very good. What are we doing here? Well, we do SAT, ACT prep for everyone. Yes, and the question is not where is Rachel, but when. 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's when Rachel is. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Watch it. Just see what it's like. It's for free. All week long. You can ask us questions like where's Rachel and what you do with Rachel and where is Harvey Dent. They're both studying for the SAT. It's a very important test if you want to go to college or university. Nice. I should have said university first because it rhymes. Oh, that's Catwoman. That's okay. I think we know Catwoman because we're Batmen. Let's do a problem. Yeah. We did exponents last time. What should we do? Let's factor a quadratic. Okay. Man, when it comes to education, I'm an addict. Oh my god, but not that kind of addict. No, just a quadratic addict. I hope this is factorable. Oh, it's gonna be factorable. Add 6. Okay. 6 is for Rachel. Alright. Let's take out a 2. Let's make it equal to 0. That's a good idea. Okay. So let's factor 2. X squared minus 2. How much time do we have before Rachel explodes? Ask Harvey. Harvey. Multiply to positive 3, add to negative 2. I don't think that's possible. Oh, shoot. That's okay. Sometimes you can't factor quadratics. And sometimes you can't save Rachel. I was about to say that. I'm so sorry. No, it's good. It shows that we're tight bonded, like Tite Bond, original wood glue. It has a tight bond, like me and Levi.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello?
Welcome.
Okay.
Yes, it's working.
It's
Don't
working.
worry.
Very good.
Welcome back. Everyone's here. Everyone's excited. It's been a while.
It's us. Oh my gosh, Ring Matthews.
Ring Matthews, you sweet, sweet combination of a ring and a young boy. You're back, Ring Matthews. Ring
Oh
Matthews,
my God.
what have you been up to? It's been a while.
Waldo! Oh my gosh, Waldo.
Oh my gosh, hold on.
Wow, we haven't done this in a long time.
Hold on.
Oh no, hi. Wow, the whole crew's back together.
Stop it.
So we got an infestation of flies here. Hello, Waldo.
It was Waldo, right?
So when we got back from not being here, there were a lot of flies because we didn't clean out.
Well done, Waldo the bear! Well done!
Garbage. Did not clean out the garbage. There was at least one fly that laid eggs somewhere, and now there are flies everywhere. So we're trying to collect them with the rubber chicken.
Yeah, the rubber chicken, they just fly into the chicken's mouth when they hear it. And then we put like a vat of like Venus flytrap acid in the bottom of this thing. It's a wonder it's not just dissolving the chicken. But the flies go down in there because it smells sweet. And then it digests it, and that's how the chicken is living. This is what we come back to.
Yes.
Well, actually, he said 2 TOO. This
No,
is what we
it
come
is
back to.
Not a he.
She, that's right, it's a she.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Hono, as opposed to Hona.
Really?
No.
I didn't think you did.
No, I did not think that.
So what are you all studying for? Are you anybody taking the ACT?
This coming Saturday. That's why we're back. Because we want to help you guys.
We're
with
not.
ACT. Nice.
Pay for private.
What? Pay for private tutoring?
That's what I was trying to say, but
Oh.
it didn't come out right.
That's okay. That's okay. We're back, though. All sorts of fun things. All sorts of fun things. Hey, here's something. You guys are like Triangles, 180 degrees, obviously. You should know that at this point. But why? Less fly talk. More talk about how to read. I want to learn how to read. That's Felix.
But you can write, Felix.
So on Facebook, someone just said, I want to learn how to read. But he typed it, which cancels itself out.
Well,
Unless
actually, dogs
voice
learn how
is-
to write before they learn how to read.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, right. And you belong in like a pit of just bozos. A
Yes?
bozo pit.
Oh.
Yes. I decided I'm going to be doing ACT instead of the SAT because I did better. That's the right idea. Nope, I'm doing the SAT. Got it.
Very good.
Yeah, Hono, I personally prefer the ACT. That's what I personally prefer.
I'm gonna check if this still works.
So here's something fun.
It does. That's cool.
You got to write triangle. No, sorry. We got two parallel lines. I'm confused as you are. Yeah, I'm as confused as you are. There we go. Yes, that's what you wanted to say. Two parallel lines. You draw a quick
Slayer Darth, what's up?
Slayer Darth.
I like the lack of the Oxford comma there. Not a problem.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
cool.
According to some people, that's fine. On the ACT and the SAT, they like it.
Yeah,
They just
those
don't
people
test
like it.
They don't test it. Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at the fly.
No.
Got some parallel lines. If that's angle X, so is this. Alternate interior angles are the same thing.
Should we introduce Fred?
One more thing. Oh, maybe we should.
I don't
One
see-
last thing. Let's take just a second. New transversal. If this is Y, then this is also Y. And then this one here, let's just call that Z. Just spit. Disgusting. So if you look at these three angles, X, Y, and Z, they add up to a straight line, which is 180, which is awesome. But
Are you
X,
British?
Y, and Z are also the three angles inside the triangle. Therefore, the three angles inside the triangle have to add up to 180 as well.
Also, notice that this angle here would be
X plus Z.
X plus Z.
Yes. All right. Here we go. The serial comma is not typically used in British English.
From what I have read,
Its usage is mandatory within the Oxford University Press as it forms part of their house style. Hence the Oxford comma. Never heard it called the serial comma. So Oxford comma is like the brand. That's like Kleenexes as opposed to tissues.
right, and the cereal is just the
The
breakfast
tissues.
food. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Don't
All right. Yeah.
confuse
What
the
are
major.
people excited about? Are we excited about the ACT's coming up? That's the most soon
Pressing.
So
pressing.
prompt test. So ACT English, math, reading, science. We want to go over some strategies. We want me and Levi just to kind of riff on each other.
Don't do that.
Don't want that, or don't do that.
Don't let us do that.
Don't let us do that. Well, we kind of do that all the time anyway. Hey, we've got eight viewers there. That's kind of nice.
Okay, so I find it very hard to believe that none of you have developed any questions that you want to ask.
Yeah, guys, Levi is pissed.
I'm pissed. I'm at a loss. I'm not pissed. I'm disappointed.
He's like here, whereas if you had questions, he'd be down here.
Yeah, don't let me get to here. You know what happens when I get to here?
Meltdown.
Meltdown.
We're talking Chernobyl style. Yep. It's gonna bankrupt the Soviet Union. That's how
Hey, did you watch
HBO.
an HBO show on
Yeah.
Chernobyl?
So I like
recently?
TV, whereas Levi does not like
Well,
TV.
I've seen some TV.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen bits and pieces of it.
You know, there's literally so much TV that saying that means 0% of TV has been watched by you. That was passive, I know, it wasn't active. I had a quick question. I found one of my dad's old maths books, British maths, I like that. Came across a few examples of fractional indices and was wondering if you could go over some techniques for working out powers in your head. Slayer Darth, that is a fantastic question. Fractional indices is also great. Now, when you say fractional indices, are you talking things like this? Or are you saying that literally the index is a fraction itself? Like this? Is that what you're saying? Wow, this marker is not great. Not great. But you can sort of see what's going on here. Here. The first one. Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I just taught a sweet child this yesterday.
A sweet, sweet child.
He was so sweet.
27 to the 2/3. Yes. Okay, so you want literal numbers, not just a variable.
Literal numbers.
Literal numbers.
Literal numbers. That's how his dad says it.
No.
That's Australian.
Is his dad Ringo from the Beatles? Are you?
I don't know. So, okay, here's the way you want to think about this. The top number is going to stick around with the x. The bottom number is going to go outside and tell you what root you're finding. So this is going to be x squared, and then the 3 is going to become the index out here. So your question, 27 to the 2/3, the top number would stay 27. Oh, okay. So there is 2 ways to think about this, actually. The way that we get x to the 2/3 power can either be x squared. I need a different marker. Levi, can you pass me a different marker?
Yeah.
Actually, I have one. I think this is going to be a good one.
I doubt it.
Let's just see. Yeah, this is great. Okay. X to the 2/3 can either be thought of as x squared to the 1/3 power, or we can just do it in the opposite order. X to the 1/3 to the 2nd power. Because multiplication is commutative, both of these things are equally valid. So 27 to the 2/3, you want to think about which operation you want to do first. Do we want to square 27 and then take the 3rd root, or do we want to take the 3rd root and then square it? It's going to be a lot easier to take the 3rd root first and then square it, which is this option right here. Because if you want to do this in your head, you're going to have to square 27, which is going to be a very large number. Technique I found in a YouTube video involves converting the denominator in the fractional index to binary format, removing the firstmost one, and converting the ones to square in the base and the zeros to just the square. That's the technique I've been using at the moment. Wow. To binary format. Okay. I've never seen that before. I assume it works because it's been working for you and it's in a YouTube video. They don't allow YouTube videos to be published unless it's complete truth. But I would say the thing that I'm going to show you is probably easier, okay? So we're going to have to square something. We're also going to have to take the cube root of something. It's going to be easier to take the cube root of 27 first. We're going to do this one right here, okay? So the cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So this inside the parentheses is going to turn into a 3, and then we're just going to square it, which gets us 9. Okay? Whichever order you need to do, that's what you want to try to figure out if you need to do this in your head. Yeah, it involves large multiplication. That's always fun to work out in your head for large bases. Yeah, no. That sounds awful. You'd need a calculator there. I mean, your teacher will only give you radical questions if they don't allow you to use a calculator. The radical questions have to be doable in your head or on paper. So like something like that where you need a calculator for, that's just, it sounds just, ugh, I don't like the sound of that at all. Let's see another example. Okay, so let's say, oh man, oh geez. Here we go. 64 to the 2/3. Yeah, okay, 64 to the 2/3. Similar situation. Do we want to square this and then take the cube root, or do we want to take the cube root and then square it? It's the second option, because squaring this thing is going to make it very large. They're both going to get you to the correct answer, but the faster and more efficient way is to take the cube root of 64 first. Oh, actually, let's see where that goes. I remember what the example in his book was. Yeah, go ahead and tell us that. So this is going to be the cube root of 64 squared. 27 to the 2/7. Oh. Okay, it's not going to be friendly. That's not going to be friendly. So real quick, this is going to be 4 squared. It's going to be 16. Okay, 27 to the 2/7. Sorry, I just wrote 24 because that was there. Okay, if we were going to go with what I've been saying, we would want to ask ourselves, do we want to square it and then take the 7th root? Or do we want to take the 7th root and then square it? The 7th root of 27 is not a friendly number. 729.
No, the 7th root.
Oh.
Why not 3, my lord?
Okay, great. Levi's back in action.
Yep.
So instead, you would want to square this thing. Okay, squaring it's going to make it a big number, then you take the 7th root. If you're going to do all that stuff, you might as well use a calculator, but there is another way. There is another way. Here's what I want you to think of. let's turn this into radical form. So the 7 is going to go outside, which is going to tell us the index, and then 27 squared is going to go on the inside, okay? We're going to break apart 27 squared and then figure out if there's anything that is not a perfect square, not a perfect cube, but a perfect septuple.
3, my lord.
Thank you.
There's not.
You're being positively counterproductive.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like when you break down a radical. All right, so real quick, if you have something like this, let's say the square root of 48. All right, that's valid. If you want to simplify the radical, you're looking for squares inside 48. So 16 times 3 is equal to 48. 16 is a square. We can take the square root of this and take it out. Okay, that'll become 4 root 3. Because we're trying to take the square root here, we're finding something that's square on the inside and then taking its square root, which means we can pull it out. So if we're using a 7th root here, if we find something that is taken to the 7th power, or something that is 7th rootable, then we can take it out and actually take the 7th root, okay? So we're going to have to work through what that might be by breaking apart 27 squared. So the first step I would say is let's turn 27 squared into 27 times 27. Prime factorization is going to break apart these 27s as much as we can. I already know that 27 is 3 times 3 times 3, so we might be out of luck here. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. This 27 is also 3 times 3 times 3. So essentially inside here, we have 3 to the 6th, which unfortunately is not something to the 7th power. So we can't actually do this. We can't simplify this any more than it already is. So if you wanted to, you could rewrite this as 3 to the 6 sevenths. This really didn't get you anywhere. I don't know how you would do this. I'm going to guess that it's going to be something very complicated like what you were talking about, Slayer Darth. Slayer Darth, you will not need to do this for the ACT or the SAT.
You might for the British SAT.
Oh, the British SAT.
Yeah, the British SAT.
Oxford University SAT.
Yeah.
Dude, our viewership is exploding. It's down to 3 already. It's like golf. You want lower numbers.
Yeah. It's our par for viewership.
It's our par, yes. You think your dad's watching?
It's just us watching ourselves in our reflection, and then my dad.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, here we go.
Slayer
easy.
Darth. This is the video I have been using. It works great.
So you just plug your numbers into that video, and then it spits out the answer?
Levi, that's... okay, we probably would have to see that.
I'll take a look.
All right, Levi's going to take a look. I'm going to just kind of, you know, dance around and make funny noises, and then Levi's going to come up and do that. Maybe there is something simpler. Levi's going to find that for you. But again, this is pretty complicated stuff, and I have never seen a question like this on either the ACT or SAT that you would not be able to use a calculator for. Because you can do this very quickly if you have a calculator. 27 to the 2 sevenths, you just use that little caret symbol. Add some ranch dressing for that carrot. It's a very simple joke. It's not very good because of that. And it'll tell you what your answer is. 27 to the, parentheses, 2 sevenths, close parentheses. Levi, have you watched all of it yet? Very good.
No.
Why not? Okay. I might take SAT Maths later this year.
This doesn't seem like something we need to talk about.
Is it too complicated?
Yes.
Yeah. Slayer Darth, Levi's looking at it. He says it's way too complicated for us to talk about. There's one in close proximity to me. Oh, that's good. That means you can go there, and it won't take that long, because that's what proximity means. Okay, we're not really going to go into it. Levi is... We don't really know if there's a simpler way. We just don't. Levi and I don't know everything. We don't.
Calculator. That's what I would recommend.
Calculator? Your brain, man, your brain is a calculator.
We can do other stuff that's not converting
scary
Fractional.
exponents and
Into-
fractions into
exactly.
binary,
Yes.
which is cool. Yeah, no,
we
it
appreciate your
seems-
curiosity.
It seems very curious
Yes.
of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, fine.
You're welcome. Maybe we should just do Sauron the Great for the rest of the video.
Just the whole time.
Yeah. Just got say it once and then just
I've
go
been doing it all
back and
day
forth.
by myself.
Really?
So, yeah, so I'm kind of
Why?
Sauroned out. I just, caught myself in the mirror and I,
You're Sauroned out.
yeah.
You gotta do a feedback loop where you
Yeah.
just keep watching yourself and
Exactly.
syncing yourself up with
Yeah,
your head movements
exactly.
in the mirror. Yeah,
I,
that's good.
I got very good at the syncing with my reflection though.
bet. I bet.
Not much of a learning curve.
No?
No.
He was very quick, huh?
Yes.
That's great. Happy for you. Proud of you.
All right, so more math questions. You can post them in the Discord. We're also happy to do other stuff. People have told me that it was stupid to investigate something like that because we have calculators for performing these types of operations.
Okay. No. It's always interesting to learn math for math's sake because it's like solving puzzles. So, Slayer Darth, useful means that it has a use where you'd need it.
No.
I wouldn't say it probably doesn't follow that definition, but
But it has a lot of utility.
it has a lot of utility for you.
Yes, and speaking of the units of utility, if we're going to quantify this,
Utils.
utils.
I think some people call them utils.
Util. Well, in British.
Utils.
In British and
I just think of it as utils.
yeah.
If you ever take an economics class, they'll talk about utility measured in utils, which is a made-up unit, but I think that's kind of fun. But yeah, Slayer Darth, there's a lot of math that, go for it. If it's really interesting to you. And the cool thing is, by knowing this, it might help you understand something else later on.
Yeah.
So, that's how knowledge works, man.
If the only thing you cared about was succeeding on one little thing, then sure, it's stupid to learn things outside of that, but that's not your goal or job.
But speaking of economics, there is something that you want to take into consideration, which is an opportunity cost. There are other things that you can learn in the time that it would take you to master this skill, and you have to weigh the costs and benefits of is it more useful to learn something else that might pop up more often than this? Now, that's with thinking that your time is scarce and that you have to be very, very mindful of how you spend your time. But if you don't think of your time as scarce, then you just kind of do whatever you feel like doing when you feel like doing it. And that's a recipe for being relaxed and content.
Yep, the only
Yeah.
recipe.
You could also just take massive amounts of illegal drugs. That wouldn't get you content. That would get you really, really, really happy and then crash. You don't want that. It's a lot of this.
Yep.
And you want something that looks more like this.
Yeah, you want a
Yeah.
sine curve with a very low magnitude of amplitude.
Magnitude of amplitude. Redundant? Not really redundant. Just
No, it's not. It's
necessary.
not redundant.
It's not redundant. It's just not necessary.
It's just needlessly complicated.
Yeah.
Some might say.
Oh yeah.
low
I mean, his book takes you through all the basics of maths, like converting base 2 numbers to base 10 format. So it's a good refresher for me. That's good.
Yeah. Do you do computer science? Because changing bases is useful for some computer science stuff.
Yes, it is. It's very. Hey, why don't you hold down the fort?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Slayer Darth. Ask us more questions. Yeah, that makes sense. I think everybody's a programmer if they watch Twitch. Do you have any other questions? I've done. Oh yeah, assembly. Yes.
Okay. So, speaking of things that are very far away from assembly and binary,
English. Do you have any questions on grammar or the reading sections? I don't know if you're still here, Hono, or anybody else, but SAT or ACT doesn't really matter. Do you have any questions on the verbal side of things? If not, that's an enormous disappointment for me personally and professionally. Let's see. I went swimming this morning. That was exciting.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks, Bert. That's great. Oh, good. We lost a viewer. It's just Dad now. Haven't prepped for the entire month of June. Darn it. Neither have we. When are you taking your next test, Matthew? I haven't streamed for a long time, so I'm not good at talking anymore. Or I got worse, at least. As I told Bird, I might be taking the SAT either this year or next year. Okay, so you got some time. August is your last chance. Cool. So, oh wait, sorry Matthew, did you take the SAT earlier in at the beginning of June, and did you get your scores yet? I feel like they come out this week, right? Let me see if there are any math questions. Yeah, let's do it. Took it in June, scores. Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was the 11th, but sure. Nice. I got some children who are getting their scores back. It's very exciting.
Yay, children!
Yes, children.
Laughing and running in the meadow.
They're all in the meadow.
That's where children go.
That's where children go. That's all right. You've never mind. Took it in June. Okay, so yeah, see if you can come up with some stuff, Slayer Darth, that is ideal, because it seems like you are in a realm of logic and mathematics that's a little bit skewed from where the SAT is. So find the overlap. We can talk about that stuff. My weakest area in math is geometry, if I'm being honest. Be very honest. If you're honest nowhere else, you must be honest here. I actually would prefer you to be dishonest or honest all the time, but don't oscillate. But I probably just need to brush up on that. Yeah, just brush up on it. Hey, Bird.
Yes.
Maybe we should have Fred talk about
Where he was born?
geometry.
Yeah. Do you have the costume?
I don't. Do you?
Working on it. Don't have it yet.
Okay.
Just making yourself into a big triangle.
You have a question on negative exponents. Very good. Fred. Yes. Fred. I feel like it's not my place to introduce Fred Bird.
Fredbird. Who's Fredbird?
Fred Bird is the sweet cousin of Bird Fred.
Yeah. Keep going. I'll introduce Fredbird in a sec.
Okay. Great. So what's your question on negative exponents, Slayer? Darth. I'm gonna call you Darth from now on. That'll be easier. Hey, Bird.
Yes.
There's no dearth of Darth in this stream, huh? Yeah?
There's no dearth of Darth.
Yes. We'll get you to meet Fred very soon, Matthew. Bum, bum, bum. No question in the Discord. Whoa, page 1. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Can you just post that link real quick in the... Actually, no. We'll just see what happens if I click this link from here. That kind of worked. Not exactly. Beginning in there. How do I... This is annoying. Is this... Oh. I'm a little confused by this.
Why?
Oh. That's very interesting.
Curious.
Did you just post it in the Discord? Sorry, I missed it if you did. No, it's not in the Discord. That's fine. Sorry, this is very exciting, clearly. Okay, so I'm trying to pull this up. Is this where we want to be? No, because this no longer... Oh, maybe it does. This what? No. Whoa. Oh my gosh. That's super disappointing. Great. Well, I ruined that. All right. Hey, Bird.
Yes.
You posted in Discord. Great. Thank you.
I did post in Discord. Like saying that we were streaming?
No, I just... Okay. No, I was talking to... Thank you. Okay. Yes, that's true. I don't know. I just screwed up our computer, so I can't really look at this anymore, which is super frustrating. So yeah, what Ring Matthew said is true. So if you have a to the, what do you say, m or negative m? A to the negative m power gives you 1 over a to the m power. If you have this in the denominator already, then it goes to the numerator. So it flip-flops whichever end of the fraction it's on. Is it because negative exponents return the reciprocal? Yeah, so does this clear it up, or you want to see examples of this, or how to put all this stuff together? You see, great. So if you have something like 2 to the negative 3 x y to the negative 2 over x squared y cubed to the negative 2 power. Something like that. You can just pull it apart. You can do this in a bunch of different ways. You can, fix everything here, get rid of all your negatives, just make it that way. Or you can distribute your exponent out here using the power rule to everything. I like doing that first because then there might be some needless flip-flopping here. The one I had was, okay, let's do the one you had. And do this another color. So I'm going to hope I interpret this the correct way. A cubed b to the negative 2, b to the negative 2, c over, this is after the equal sign, is that your answer? Or is that part of this equation and we're trying to do something funky with it? 2d to the negative 1, e to the negative 4f squared, e to the negative 4f squared. And that equals a cubed c d. Yeah, so basically, maybe you figured this out at this point, the 4th over 2b squared f squared. I think that covered everything. Is that what you said? You have a cubed c d e to the 4th over 2b squared f squared. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So you did it right. Seems like you're fine with that stuff. Let's see, stream seems to have crashed. That's not good. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, since we have 0 viewers. The bit rate seems fine. My computer's dead. Oh, this seems good. I don't know what I did. Okay, we're still at 0. Hey, can
I want to stop this.
Oh, you don't work.
Put a grades to a grade book. I have like
Okay.
students.
Are we better now? Is this better? Sorry. I don't know why that happened. I didn't notice at all. I don't know where it crashed, but this is the answer I got. I have no idea when it crashed. So, anybody have questions on this? Did this just jump to there? There you go. There's one other thing that I would recommend. It seems like you guys have this down pretty good. There are sometimes questions, both SAT and ACT, where they'll give you a question and they'll give you something like this. And then they'll say, so essentially when you have a variable with a negative exponent in the denominator, because of the laws of exponents, it goes into the numerator. Yes. And the reason for this, Slayer, Darth, since you seem to be interested in the reasonings behind these things, let's talk about the number 5. So 5 cubed equals 125, and 5 squared equals 25. We know that 5 to the first is going to be itself, and then we know that anything to the 0 power is 1. So now we're going to just follow this pattern on the left side. So the next one we're going to talk about is 5 to the negative 1. Well, what is the pattern on the right side? We're dividing by 5 every time, which should make sense because every time you add 1 to the exponent, you're multiplying by another 5. So going up, you multiply by 5. Going down, you divide by 5. So that pattern should continue with negative exponents. That's why when you have 1 and then you divide by 5 again, you get 1 over 5. Technically, it's 5 to the 1. the first power on the bottom. Then if you have 5 to the negative 2, you're going to divide by 5 again, which is 1/5 of 1/5, which is 1 over 25. And you continue. So that is why this happens. Do you have any questions on that? And they're not going to ask you to prove why negative exponents act the way they do. That will not happen on the test. But this is the reasoning behind it. So I actually have some students who get confused with negative exponents versus fractional exponents sometimes. I think this sometimes can help figure that out for you. Just remember that negative exponents will never give you a negative result. A negative in the exponent does not represent the same thing as a negative for a given constant that would serve as the base. So this does not equal something like negative 25. That's not what happens here. That's bad.
Except for never.
Yeah, aside from never, this is what always happens.
So I think these two markers are dead, but I'm just gonna give them a shot here. Give them a shot to prove their life. That's it's still got ink in it, but it just looks terrible. Man, this ink is terrible.
Yeah?
Should I keep it or should I throw it away?
I think you should throw it away with my Milano wrappers.
But then I have to pay for the use of that trash can. I think Slater has asked a question, unless you already answered that.
So when you flip a variable with an... Oh boy. Smurfing! What's up? So when you flip a variable with a negative exponent from the denominator to the numerator, it's as though you were multiplying by that variable.
You can think of it like that. Like, so if you have 1 over x
Thanks, Stream Elements.
to the negative...
Stupid.
Oh. If you have 1 over x to the negative 5th, if you multiply the top and bottom by x to the 5th, these two things will give you x to the 0th, which is just 1. And then the top will give you x to the 5th. Is that what you're saying? Because if it is, I'm totally jazzing with what you're saying. If it's not what you're saying, then I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Smurfing. The bot is always slow to notice that his stream is big up. Smurfing has a crazy accent. That's really thick. That is it. Very good. Yes, you're absolutely right. So should I introduce him to Fred Triangle?
Yeah, I mean, there's also another, since we're talking about ways of thinking about this, you could think about it as
You have 1 over x to the negative 5th, which is the same thing as x to the 0 over x to the negative 5th, which by quotient rule is x to the 0 minus a negative 5, which is x to the 5th. Also that way.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Look at that. We're friends again.
Yeah.
So much we were never taught at school. Yep. School should be done away with. It should just be all nerdish.
we hate school.
100% of the time,
Yep.
just nerdish.
Actually, that's what the founding fathers wanted. It was actually, we were in the Constitution.
We were in it.
That was actually the main reason we...
Thou shalt not send thy children to school. Thou shalt send thy children to nerdish. With a 3.
And it was understandable why people didn't like that back then, because we weren't alive.
I'm German, so not even in danger of having to take any scholastic achievement tests. I just like to watch maths videos. Ah, interesting. Yeah, you guys have a different system over there. You guys have like great apprenticeships and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, like to watch maths videos. That's fantastic. We like to stream maths videos, so I would say we have a market success right here.
I think so.
Supply is meeting demand big time.
Where can we pay you?
What?
We need to pay them.
Oh, because they're watching our videos?
Yeah,
We're paying them with the video.
that's true.
They're paying us with watching the video.
This kind of looks like the Loch Ness Monster.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's like the
Well,
perfect shape.
wait, hold on. Bring it down a little bit.
Maybe not.
Maybe not there.
Yeah, put it over here. There's a little love. I'm gonna go off screen. You deal with this.
That was not what I was thinking. Okay. German University be free for me as they charge no tuition to many EU students as their own students do not have to pay tuition costs. Wishful thinking. Oh man, that would be great. That would be great. Over on this side of the pond, we do things a little differently, which is we keep our lower class citizens down by making everything really expensive, which is not necessary, but try to get that through Congress. Just try, smurfing. Not gonna happen. Because they can't do anything.
They should watch more Nerdish.
Everyone should watch more Nerdish.
Yeah.
Or the way
This
that
is Smurfing's accent.
smurfing would be like, I'm German, so not even in danger of having to take any scholastic achievement tests. I just like to watch mass videos.
Was that offensive enough for you? That generalized the way you speak English well enough for you?
Yeah.
You're good, Bert.
Let's do that Loch Ness Monster thing again.
So you're not on the hot seat anymore?
You can check my accent by watching that last video. What do you record, smurfing? We'd love to check out your stuff. Levi and I are really big into checking out stuff.
I play Go. Like Pokemon Go? Is it true that U.S. colleges do not trust how students in the public school system are taught, and so they basically teach them from scratch?
Not in my experience.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, they know, based off of your test scores and your transcripts, if you have the scholastic aptitude to be able to handle their curriculum. So they don't allow you to come into the school if they feel as though you can't handle things and would have to start from scratch.
Oh, that Go. That's much more interesting.
Wei Chi, the Chinese board game. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, Go. It's a game that I think, was it Watson, the AI machine that just beat the best dude in the world like within the last 2 years? Do you remember? You don't know. I saw some video.
I thought that was chess. AlphaGo. Deep Mind.
Deep Mind, that's what it was.
Deep.
So Go is like significantly more complicated than chess, or like it's one of the craziest games. It's simple looking though.
Chess is already quite complicated.
No, it's not.
Chess is the game of kings.
Not
You
for
ever,
tutors.
you ever know that?
Yeah, but Go is the game for tutors and German students. Yeah, and so DeepMind was an AI that played the.
What if you're a German tutor?
I don't know.
That's good. Sorry, keep talking.
It's because I'm going through. Oh no, wrong.
That's
wrong
Slayer.
person. Okay, sorry. Slayer, what's your accent that we can butcher? It's because I'm going through one of my dad's old Sham online outline books, College Physics 6th edition, and it's supposed to be really comprehensible. Someone told me that's because of my previous statement. I'm confused.
Huh?
I don't fully understand Darth's statement.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared. What's going on here?
Yes, they're probably trying to mess with you. That's cool. Oh, look at that. Who's that?
Why, it's none other than Fred Triangle. Everyone, we'd like you to meet our new friend. His name is Fred Triangle. This is Fred Triangle. Levi, is that who I think it is? He's back. He's back midstream. No one is supposed to comprehend what I say.
Y'all started early today.
Yeah, we're starting early over the
New
summer.
schedule.
Yo, y'all should just do it in the afternoons and have nights off.
Brendan,
Nah.
I get back at 4:30.
Bird
What are you
has-
talking about?
Uh-oh.
It's good to see you.
I don't think anybody knows who you are anymore, but good to see you. I mean, we do.
It's been
We
some.
still do.
It's Brentwood.
We live with
This is
him.
Brentwood.
Hi.
Who is
Yeah.
that? Ring Matthews. You remember Ring
Oh,
Matthews?
ouch.
No, Ring Matthews is somewhat new.
Yeah,
This is a
maybe.
new crop.
This is why there's a
Wow.
3 in the word nerdish.
Yes.
Which is why they're in the process of changing that, right? The legal implications.
Yeah,
Are-
because you
are
own
massive.
those numbers. One of those digits belongs
I
to
copyrighted the number 3.
Yeah.
Call me Taylor Swift.
Would this even work?
It's the camera guy. Even worse. It's even
Yeah.
more insulting.
He's the grip.
No, no,
That's
no.
what he is.
When in doubt, that's the
Camera guy.
Kame Ragai.
Yeah?
I think so.
I think it's Kame Ragu. Why?
All right.
Remember
Tell me
Ragu
I'll
sauce?
finish. Tell me I'll finish.
7:30.
7:30.
When do you, yeah.
When do you finish?
I'll never be done.
You have the ACT
Alright.
to get ready for.
This wouldn't even work as our logo. But not as a logo.
Nudish.
It's just
Nudish.
and turdish.
And turdish. That's good.
I know.
We already did something inappropriate on stream today.
On accident.
And it was Bert's fault this time.
What?
Yeah.
No.
It
Levi was
was.
the one doing it.
Hold on. That means we've all got one.
We'll talk
At
about it
varying
later.
levels.
We'll talk about it. Stop. I don't want that.
It's just tape.
I literally don't
You
want
want
that.
it so bad, Bird. We're business partners. You want what I want.
You can explain how to solve inequalities. That's the one subject I didn't even study for my last maths test. Oh, absolutely.
Yes, Smurfing.
We would
will
love
do that.
to solve inequalities. All right, so let us
Yeah,
begin.
actually, that's what Nerdish is all about. It's using education to solve inequality.
Ah, that's very good, Levi.
Thank you, Bird.
All right. So, solving inequalities is almost the same thing as solving equations. It is doing something to both sides to isolate x, okay? There's only one situation where it's a little different, but first off, the way that we would solve this is to subtract 4 from both sides. Sorry, subtract 6 from both sides and we get 4, okay? X is less than or equal to 4. One interesting thing they might ask you to do is put these on a number line so you graph what the solution would be. So, could x be 4? Yes. X is less than or equal to 4, so you're allowed to have your x actually be 4. So that means that we use a closed dot on 4, and then x is less than 4, so x goes in that direction. It can be anything less than 4. Now, Levi did something interesting. Levi, you want to talk about what you did?
Yeah, so we start, I shouldn't have done all of this, but we start with this inequality. What Brady did is he added 6 to both sides.
Nice,
right?
subtracted 6.
You subtracted 6 from both sides.
Correct.
What we have here, just like any time you're trying to isolate a variable, we're going to do the opposite operation. So we have to divide by -2 to get x isolated. Now, the problem with dividing or multiplying by a negative number, and it's only negative numbers with inequalities, is that you have to flip the sign. So the sign goes from less than or equal to greater than or equal to. And I will tell you why that happens. If we had -2 is less than 8, -2x is less than 8, and we add 2x to this side and add 2x to this side, we get 0 is less than or equal to 8 plus 2x. Then we subtract 8 from both sides and we get -8 is less than or equal to 2x. Then we divide by 2 and we get -4 is less than or equal to x. So these are the same, and that's why. So in this case, we didn't multiply or divide by anything, or we didn't multiply or divide by a negative. Here we did. This is obviously way quicker. You just have to remember to flip the sign. This is basically the proof of why you need to flip the sign.
Remember, flip the sign.
No. Bird, that's so incredibly unproductive.
Don't do this.
Are you pleased with yourself?
Don't look at this. Just do that.
Yeah. Don't listen to him.
Listen to me, but just don't hear me. Now, opposite.
Yes.
You gotta flip the instructions.
If you're not
Flip
careful,
the
I'm gonna
script.
erase Fred.
Slayer Darth, what about graphing inequalities in the XY coordinate plane? Do you have to know that? Do you have to know that? Do you have to know that? Are there any mean tricks people could do to someone trying to solve an inequality? Yeah, you could give someone a wedgie while they're trying to solve an inequality.
I got given a wedgie recently.
Really?
Yeah.
By who?
Lena.
Oh, jeez.
But she's so much stronger than me, I couldn't do anything about it.
Was it atomic?
I don't know what that means.
It means
In
they
this
pull
case.
the back of your underwear over your head,
No.
which results in you no longer being able to ever use that pair of underwear again.
Or that head. The head comes off with the underwear, I think.
Well, here,
I'll
here-
show you a nasty trick.
Okay, hold on. Maybe you got something like this. You talking about something like this? Like, how do you solve an inequality if you've got like quadratic business in and up and around there? Absolute value inequalities. There's a couple other things. But in general, if you know how to solve equations, you know how to solve inequalities with the one caveat that if you divide or multiply by a negative number, I prefer the mock accent you're using to imitate it. You're making me out to be more socially elevated than I actually am.
Oh yeah, we can talk like this.
But
Then.
that's Slayer Darth. That's not smurfing.
Oh, that's right.
What is the accent we're doing with Slayer Darth?
I think you sort
British?
of. Yeah.
Or
No.
John,
Keep going.
We want you to stay in the...
Business.
No. Come on, John, write a song.
I don't know what that's from.
it's just the Beatles.
Oh.
He's not even the best drummer in the
Scottish.
Beatles.
Scottish is
I
a
come
hard
from
language.
a British West Indian background.
So do we.
I actually grew up with a British West Indian backyard. They had it transplanted from the British West Indies.
Yeah. That's a stupid thing to say, Bert.
You don't know that.
No, I do.
You have no idea what my life is like.
I know so much
They
more
picked it all
than
up.
almost everybody
They
on the
brought-
planet about your life. And that was unequivocally stupid. Okay. Yeah, you want to show them how to do this?
Not really. Yeah, I will. All right. So you'd normally say, take the square root of both sides. And if you were to do that, let's follow along with what that would be in the equation. All right. We square root both sides on this one. There's a nice fun thing here. We don't actually have to FOIL and then move the 16. We just square both sides. Or square root of both sides. X plus 2 equals... Now, there are two options here. You take the square root of 16, you're really taking the plus or minus square root of 16. So that's going to get you plus or minus 16. 4. I'm sorry. No, plus or minus 4. Which means you're going to have two answers. You're going to subtract 2. So plus or minus 4 minus 2. So one of the answers is going to be if you use positive 4. That'll get you 2. The other answer is if you use negative 4 and you subtract 2, which will get you negative 6. Those are your two options there. So we're going to get those two numbers, but what's the deal with the inequality stuff? Here's the deal. You're going to take the inequality, you're going to take the square root of both sides. And Levi, I love that. Levi is going to show you something cool on the graph, but when you do this, the positive square root of 16, you're going to make that greater than positive 4. You're going to take the negative square root of 16 and make it less than negative 4. What did I do wrong? X plus 2. Here we go. Oh, God, now it's getting all messy. X plus 2 is less than negative 4. So because when you divide or multiply by something negative, you have to switch the signs, that's kind of like what's happening here. We took the negative square root of 16, which is going to flip the sign, essentially. So x is greater than 2, x is less than negative 6, and now Levi's going to show you why that is.
Okay, so I drew this parabola, x plus 2 squared. This parabola as y equals x plus 2 squared. That's what I drew it as. So then we're saying, when is this function greater than 16? So I drew this line here at y equals 16. So that's 16 right there. Please let me know if this doesn't make sense, because this is actually pretty complicated, but a very good foundational connection to be able to make. Any equation that you have, you can think about it as a function, especially if there's just one number over here, especially if there's a 0 over here, even when it's an inequality. So I graphed this parabola, y equals x plus 2 squared, which means it shifts 2 units to the left. If you want to talk about how to graph parabolas, I'm happy to do that as well. And then I said, okay, so when is it going to be greater than 16? It's anything above that line that I made that's dotted. And there and on forever is when you're good, which is this. And now I didn't know it was 2 and negative 6 right away, but we could have figured that out by saying, okay, well, at this point, when this is 16, I just make this an equal sign because I don't really care about it being greater than. That's just for our conceptual understanding of when we want it to be more or less than that line. That's the graphical interpretation of that. Oh my gosh.
You did it to me.
You flipped the script.
I did.
Yeah.
I flipped the sine of x.
Yes.
I made it cosine of 90.
You could also feasibly It is neat. Right?
Yeah,
It's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We like it. It's enough for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I think that's all for the week.
For the week.
For the month.
For the month.
For the summer.
For the summer. What's next?
I think that's it. For the horde.
Ah.
For the war effort.
For the war effort. Grow tomatoes in your victory garden. Now, do they make the vegetables in the victory garden to send to the troops or for themselves to eat so that agriculture could send more to the troops without having to feed people at home?
I think it was only after they won, so there were no troops anymore.
No.
You're only allowed to have a victory garden once you win. But
No. They called it the victory garden
Yeah.
during the middle of the war. No, they did.
Who's they? The tomatoes?
No, Fred Triangle.
Oh, okay.
Fred Triangle was part of the war effort.
Fred Triangle was not invented till well after the war.
Well, I mean, like, as in, like, yesterday?
Yes.
I guess that's well after the war. I'm sure someone has put the word Fred in front of triangle before.
I don't think so.
How do you know? You haven't been there.
It's like I before E except after C, but Fred before triangle.
Except after C.
I've-
If it's C, it's C triangle Fred.
Yes.
And everybody knows that.
Like C spot run. But
C
C
run
triangle
spot.
Fred. There is one more thing with inequalities we can talk about. That's absolute value
Oh.
inequalities, and then also graphing them, right, with shading.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that as well.
I'm going to go get my water bottle.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with it?
I'm just going to really give it the business.
You're gonna don't give it the business. That's why our business is not working.
Well, I'm going to give it half
Our
of
business
that-
is working
half
great.
of the business.
But the Bird's water bottle is way wealthier than any other water bottle. Okay. So we're going to talk about absolute value inequality stuff now. I'm going to do it over here. Oh, that's not a good choice. Can you turn that off?
I'm sorry.
What have you done?
I don't know what I've done.
Oh, I know what you've done. Okay. So,
Be the wrong light.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's the camera guy that I was just talking to. But are you still here, Darth, by the way? Or who was asking about inequalities? Was it Darth? No, it was Smurfing. Smurfing, you here? It seems like you're probably still here. The other one is absolute value. So if we have x, let's say minus 3 is greater than 2. Absolute value of that. Hey, that's very sweet of you. So in this case, we have to have two different situations. Let's actually start with something simpler than this. Let's start with just absolute value of x is greater than 2. So let's just think about some values that x could be. X could be 3, right? That's fine. X could be 4. X could be 5, and so on. What are the negative numbers that x could be? It can't be negative 1, it can't be 0, but it could be anything whose magnitude is greater than 2, right? So x could be negative 3, x could be negative 4, right? Because then you just take the absolute value, becomes positive. So that means that the way to deal with absolute values is split them. Just like you split them before, if this is an equal sign, you still split it into x equals 2 and x equals negative 2. You're doing the same thing. Remember to flip the sign. When you're dealing with negatives, I think this happened when Brady was talking about the parabola one, you have to flip the sign when you're taking the negative of this other side. Please let me know if this doesn't make sense. So this will be x is greater than 2, as it should be, and then x is less than negative 2. Either of those, and then all of these satisfy one of these two. And then on a number line, you just have negative 2 here, going that way, and then you have positive 2 here, going that way. Notice the open circles, not the closed circles. There is one thing that I've seen recently on the ACT, I forget which test it is, but the question is something like absolute value of x minus 8 is less than or equal to negative 2. And they say, okay, graph the number line, or give us the graph of the number line for this. And it's something like there's like a 6 and a 10 or something, and it's this. And then there are other ones as well. But And none of them really quite work until you realize what the problem is here, which is you have an absolute value and you're saying that it has to be less than or equal to a negative number. That can't happen, right? Because by definition, it doesn't matter what's inside absolute value signs, but the answer will be positive or it will be 0, right? And in this case, we're being told that it's -2, so we have a problem. Bird.
What?
God.
What? You don't know that.
I know exactly that. That's what I know.
I'm tired.
Are you?
I keep waking up early and going to bed late. It's a recipe for being tired.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, what else do people want to know? Have we talked about graphing inequalities on the XY coordinate plane?
So the answer would be, yeah, it would be the empty set. I think on the test that I saw this on recently, it was there is no value of x that satisfies this inequality, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it's impossible.
Some inequalities cannot be satisfied.
Yeah.
You could try your whole life.
Inequalities are cruel.
Unforgiving beings.
Mistry. Mistry.
Mistry.
Mistry.
I think I'm gonna follow because I'm getting real up close and personal with integrals real soon, and I anticipate confusion you might be able to clear up. Ha!
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not on the SAT or ACT, but sure.
Yeah, you should just follow in general. We could probably throw in every now and then a little calculus, but yeah for the most part, you know, because we have so many viewers that are always asking for ACT and SAT, we generally don't do that. However, Levi, until we get more viewers, I see no problem with doing that.
Yeah, we're back, we're fresh.
We're ready to go.
And by we, you mean you, right?
By we, I mean you, me, and Fred Triangle.
Okay. Why
Fred
don't we have
Triangle is...
Fred Triangle do integrals?
You know, I'm really bad with Taylor series, but Fred Triangle is fantastic with Taylor
I
series.
hate Taylor series. I think, oh no, that's the same thing.
Fred Triangle is integral to our success as calculus teachers. When did you start? Like X hours ago? We started about an hour ago. We're going from 6 to 7:30 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, which is a U.S. thing, which you wouldn't really be aware of. But yeah, we started an hour ago. We're going for another half hour. So whatever that time is for you, it's going to be that time, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Good to know. Midnight for me. Whoa!
Go to bed.
I've heard some crazy things about German midnight.
Yeah,
It's
I think
like, it's
they all
different.
turned back into Austrians. I don't know.
Until when? Sunrise?
No.
Just
Like
once, and then they're all Austrians forever?
Yeah, every midnight.
Every midnight. I know, but when do they turn back into Germans?
What? They don't. They're always German. They turn back into Austrian at midnight.
Right.
Right.
So tonight they're going to turn to Austrian.
Yes.
And then they're Austrian until...
No, and then tomorrow they'll turn from German into Austrian.
If I were to draw out what you're talking about, there'd be a lot of jumps on the graph.
Yeah, it's a little step function
I
type of deal.
understand. Yeah.
Austrians would like to be Germans, but they can't get the pronunciations right. Yeah, that's what we've heard.
Okay, so midnight and midnight. All right, we've got German, and then we have the opposite of G, which is A, because A is equal to negative G, as we all know. So you're saying that the Germans at midnight will turn into Austrians. Right at midnight, are they still Germans or are they Austrians immediately?
It's like the question, does midnight actually exist?
All right, fair. All right, we're going to make that a closed dot. This is an open dot. All right,
Yeah.
and then you're
good
saying
enough.
that at midnight the next night, again, they turn into Austrians.
Yes.
So I guess what you're not really giving me is, you know, this to there. What happens
I
between?
got you.
This is going to be unbelievably stupid, whatever Levi is about to do.
Go for it. There you go. That's exactly what I was going for. So you got a bit of an asymptote at midday.
Oh.
Yeah. And there is a precipitous drop off. Austrians, they're really not morning people. And the Germans come down from heaven and then immediately turn into Austrians again. And then drop
it's
down.
it's like tangent. It's a periodic
Yeah,
function.
and we know that just like on the map of the world, right? How Antarctica and the Arctic are actually the same thing. They kind of reach behind the picture.
I don't
right?
think that's true
Stop
at all.
talking, bird. You know nothing about this. And then so these actually connect eventually.
Oh, if you just keep going high enough.
Yes.
Because infinity and negative infinity are actually they
Yes.
connect.
Yes.
Well, we are all dumber now. To bear or not to bear. Wait. BR. To be or not to. I'm not sure. To bear or not to bear. Levi, help me out with this.
No.
To bear or not to bear. You're gonna have to. Antarctic equals no bears. Oh.
That's true, dude.
No bears. To
Yes.
bear or not to bear.
Don't yeah. Yes, exactly. We agree. So that's the situation.
That's how I'll remember the difference now. If it's really cold and there are bears around, I'll know I'm in the Arctic. But if it's really cold and there are no bears around, I know that I'm in the Antarctic.
Yes.
Because that's how logic works.
Right.
That's
They're
how
mutually ex-
logic works.
Today,
.com
for you.
and us. Close one. I'm not gonna, don't worry about it.
Antarctic and Arctic can possibly cause heart failure and measles and, you know,
If you're being mauled,
Negative thoughts.
can't be in Antarctica. Yes, that's good. So if we were to take the contrapositive of that, so if you're being mauled, then you're not in Antarctica. If you are in Antarctica, then you're not being mauled.
I mean, to be fair,
If
if
you're-
you're in Antarctica, very unlikely that you're being mauled.
Right. That's right. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. And I'm just being fair.
Well, yeah, that's good. So if you are in Antarctica, you're not being mauled. So if you're very afraid of being mauled, go to Antarctica. Because you can't be mauled there.
Smurfing, have you gotten dumber in the last hour of your life?
Because of us, not just
Yeah.
you in general.
I mean, no, I shouldn't make. No, I
Our
shouldn't-
goal is to spread dumbness to everyone, regardless of social
Yes.
class. That's our goal.
Yeah, it's like Idiocracy, that movie with Owen Wilson's brother.
Oh, so you saw that one?
I figured that was a good one to see.
Yeah. How? Okay. What's the thought process behind you choosing movies? I've seen that one.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
So, what do they say about the liquid that they feed to plants?
I don't know.
Well, when did you see it last?
Hours.
Hours ago?
Yeah.
Well, technically that's true, but it's a bajillion hours.
Yeah.
They say it's got electrolytes.
Bajillion hours?
Yes, a bajillion. How about we
Wow.
talk about graphing inequalities in the complex in the XY plane?
No, have you?
Yeah, I have. So we don't need to do it. I need a nap.
You do need to nap.
I need a nap. Ready for this?
Yes.
I love English. So wait, what? This will be interesting.
So picture an eyeball needing confusedly a nap. What is a nap? I feel like it's a
You just napped me on the shoulder. Knapsack problem. Do you want to do the knapsack problem?
Oh, okay.
That's a
let's
good
do
problem to do.
All right, if you insist, we'll do the knapsack.
Do you want to draw it
problem.
or should I draw it?
I'll probably draw the knapsack and you make something up that's stupid.
Well, don't tell them we're going to make it up.
Oh, don't make it up, Bird. Do the thing we did that
All
we
right.
planned.
So Levi right now is drawing the knapsack. And here's the problem. It is a circus that's in town, and one of the things that they have is they have a knapsack full of eyeballs. These are human eyeballs. They're pretty fresh. And the question is, if we know what material the knapsack is made of, do we know how many eyeballs are in the knapsack? And Levi, do you remember the answer to this?
Yeah, let's see.
Well,
Get it?
because the letter C, because it's C. Oh, jeez. Okay, so the question is, if you know the material, do you know the number of eyeballs in the bag? The answer, of course, is no. The follow-up question is, how do they get all those eyeballs? The follow-up question to that is, how do they get all of those eyeballs into that knapsack?
Oh.
The question to follow up that is, what are you planning on doing with that knapsack besides constructing terrible math problems that totally don't have to do with math?
That's the strap.
Yeah, it's a strap for your knapsack.
Yeah. The nap strap.
A nap strap.
Yeah.
Also, you could have one of these things.
Oh, one of those things.
I'm not done yet. It's like, they got the... It's like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a bandana kind of situation.
Yeah.
You got it over your back as you're walking down the street. And what it's full of is eyeballs. I'm gonna draw you a little inside scoop look. Full of eyeballs. Yeah. I'm not gonna draw all of them. And weirdly enough, they're all
blue.
hazel.
Hazel.
Hazel. Sure, we'll go with blue. They're all blue. They're all blue eyeballs. So the next follow-up question is, are there a group of blue-eyed people walking around without eyeballs somewhere in the world? Or did they just 3D print these?
Okay, well, let's say that you are a peddler of eyeballs.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just trying to peddle my wares.
Yeah, you're just trying to peddle your wares.
As you
Hurting
do.
nobody. And let's say that you have hazel eyeballs and you have blue eyeballs.
In a bag, or that's what I have?
That's what you have in your bag.
Okay.
Please explain why Euclid had such trouble proving the fifth postulate.
It's because his friends kept scaring him as he was working. They also dumped water on the fifth postulate over and over, so he couldn't get through
He
it.
didn't have it laminated, so it was a lot of...
Pull your shorts up a little bit.
I can't.
Why? Then pull your shirt down.
I like tucking my shorts into my shirt.
Into your shirt?
Yes.
What does that look like?
Like
That?
this? Yeah.
That's,
You kind of have two
that's
options.
dumb. I'll tell you why. Let's give him more reasons.
Okay.
Well, one of the reasons why is he wanted to give, math video streamers thousands of years in the future a question that they didn't know how to answer. He wanted to give them trouble. So he knew the fifth postulate very easily, but he decided to make it really troublesome because he knew that people would ask about it thousands of years later. Like, why was it so hard?
If a straight line falling on two straight lines makes the interior falling on... Okay, I guess crossing. That's what you say. Make the interior angles on the same side less than two right angles, the two straight lines, if produced indefinitely, meet on that side on which... Wow. What are you asking here?
I would probably need to see a picture of that.
Yeah, can you draw a picture of what you're explaining here?
And then just, you can send it to our Discord.
Do you have the Discord, Smurfing?
Smurfing, you gotta get the Discord. Literally everyone is on the Discord. If you're choosing the subset of humanity that is currently on the Discord as everyone. That's who's on it. You know what I really like is the way that Eratosthenes, or Eratosthenes, I'm not really sure how to say his name, calculated the circumference of the Earth,
Yeah.
like thousands of years ago.
Can you use really bendy rulers?
No.
Oh,
No. Have you heard of this?
no.
Okay, this is pretty sick.
Did
So-
he use a map and read the scale the right way?
Let's see if I can set that up. No, he didn't. Alright, so here's the sun. It's a sick sun. It's got sunglasses on because it's ironic. It's the sun. And he knew that there was a city about 500 miles away.
I never realized that's really ironic and pretty funny.
Yeah, it's good.
Wow.
He knew there was a city about 500 miles away that
Okay.
at high noon, the light goes perfectly down into a well. There's no angle. It goes all the way down to the bottom of the well. And he knew that city was about 500 miles away because he knew that it took about, I don't know, I'll just make it up, 7 days for a camel to get there. They knew how fast a camel walked. They didn't use miles, they used some other length that they used back then. All right? And then at the city that he was at, which is 500 miles away, at the same time, if you have another well, it didn't go all the way down. The sunlight made an angle inside the well. So they both make these angles. And he saw that angle was about, I'm just going to make it up, that angle was about 15 degrees. So we knew that 500 miles away is a difference of 15 degrees. So in order to figure out the circumference of the Earth, you just need to figure out that 15 is, that would be, let me think about this for a sec, 1/24th of a full circle. So he multiplied 500 by 24, I'm making up these numbers, and he got what the circumference of the Earth is, and he was like maybe 15 to 20% off. I'm making some numbers up here, but the general idea is there. He figured out the circumference of the Earth pretty decently, like in BC time, which is like insane.
I think it would have been faster and probably cheaper for him to look at a map and read it the correct way, like any elementary schooler can do, where you have the key on the bottom and you know how many,
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to erase this then.
Hey, Smurfing, see if you can set that up, but also see if you can figure out this problem here. This is US dollars, so I'm sorry if that doesn't make any sense to you. It works like Canadian dollars, if that helps. So, hazel eyeballs you're selling for $2 a pop. Not a pair, but a pop. Blue, $1.50. So, you go to some border town and they're really in need of eyeballs, and you sell $31 worth of eyeballs.
That's a lot of eyeballs.
It's a lot of dollars. And then you also sell, of the eyeballs that you've sold, you sell 2 more blue eyeballs than hazel eyeballs. How many blue eyeballs and hazel eyeballs have you sold, respectively? See if you can set that up.
You've heard of the band The Who?
Yeah, I watched some of their stuff.
No. So there's a song called Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah. Blue eyes in the sky with diamonds, right?
I've never felt like I wanted to punch you until just now. I wasn't going to do it, but I finally envisioned myself punching you right in your face.
Why?
I don't know. It's weird. I guess I don't know why. Anyway, it'd be fun if it was Behind Blue Eyeballs.
I'll let you take it away.
Behind blue eyeballs, nobody knows what it's like to be the sad one, to be the bad one. Behind blue eyeballs. That's when it would change to eyeballs instead. Eyeball is just a goofy word. Like, why do we need that as opposed to eye? I guess eye just refers to like the front part, the part that you think about. Okay, so you're asking me how many of each do they sell? Well, Mr. Levi, I'm going to create a system of equations.
You wouldn't
I'm not going to use x and y because those variables, while useful, do not represent words very well. Except unless you're selling xylophones and
Xylophones.
no, let's come up with a real thing. Yams, xylophones and yams. Then sure. Oh, smurfing. That's not good. But it is German midnight, and I know that this is when you turn into an Austrian, so I'm going to let that one go here. So the price, okay, the number of hazel. Not the price of hazel, we know that. The number of hazel will be designated with H. The number blue will be designated with B. So, $31 worth of eyeballs. There's 2 equations here. There is the price equation, there is the quantity equation. We're going to start with the quantity equation. We know that there are 2 more blue than hazel eyeballs. So in order to find blue, this can be very easy to mix up. Think to yourself, which one's larger? Is it blue or is it H? So 2 more blue than hazel. It's blue. Blue is 2 more than hazel. So B is equal to H plus 2. Exactly, smurfing. They got you. They got you with the oldest trick in the book. And then the other is the price equation. So 2H, $2 for every hazel eyeball, and plus 150. Hazel, no, blue is equal to 31. All right, the system of equations. I think I'm going to turn this into substitution because it's already been solved for one of the variables, which is nice. Although, you know what? 150B is going to be a little... Yeah, you know what? That's not bad. All right, so we have 2H. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to use colors here because colors are good. 2H plus 150. B is now referred to as H plus 2. Levi, you just make up these numbers. Like, what if they come out to be like weird fractions of eyeballs?
I very quickly thought about it, so I might have been wrong. But I think it should work out.
We'll see about that. Oh, I think you actually are right. Oh. All right. So H is 8. 8 hazel eyeballs. Blue is 2 more than that, which is 10. Which means they found 5 people with blue eyes and took all of their eyeballs out, giving them 10 eyeballs in total, 5 pairs. And then 4 people with hazel eyeballs. The new schedule is 6-8. No, 6 to 7:30. Hello, Robot Dancer. I hope the robot dancing has been going swimmingly.
Oh.
But it is now 6 to 7:30 East Coast time because it's summer. And Levi and I are doing summer stuff, which we can't tell you about because we want to keep our public and our private lives. All right? Yeah, I didn't finish that sentence. Anyway, so yeah, 5 blue-eyed people's eyeballs, resulting in 10. 4 hazel people's eyeballs, resulting in 8. Total of 9 people who are probably in a basement somewhere, walking around without eyeballs. Or they donated their body to math. Not to science. He doesn't care. To math. Yeah, that's the knapsack problem. By the way, the knapsack is made out of burlap. And whenever you have a knapsack that's made out of burlap, you know that it can hold 18 eyeballs. So that is how you solve the knapsack problem. Levi, what time we got?
Yeah, man.
Come on.
20.
20. Okay, guys, you have 10 more minutes. What do you have questions about? There's an ACT coming up. What are you afraid of? What are you excited for? Do you want to hear from Fred Triangle? There's some facts I could tell you about Fred Triangle. He's a very happy triangle. Slash, well, I guess Fred. So, yeah, he is a very happy triangle. I wonder if he's married to another triangle. I'll tell you, his parents would not be happy if he married an octagon. Whew. There would be some serious blowback from Fred's parents, who are both triangles, as you can probably imagine. Although, strangely enough, his grandfather on his dad's side was a square. So, as it turns out,
Interesting.
triangles dominant over squares, which are recessive. But Fred does carry the gene for being a square,
Yeah.
so he might have square kids.
Hmm.
But he himself is not a square. He's just a carrier. Now you know about genetics.com. Today. For you. You're just not talking anymore? Great. That doesn't make me feel good better at all. That's... Hey, you keep talking, my back hurts.
All right. Where? Here?
No, in my arm.
Okay. Oh, so this weekend, you know how Nina twisted her ankle?
Is that to me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she had it wrapped up.
Yeah.
So I was talking to her about it, and I said, "What happened?" And she said, she twisted it playing volleyball." And I said, "Which ankle is it?" She didn't think it was funny at all.
Oh, wait, her left or right?
Yeah, I mean, she was limping on her wrapped up ankle.
Oh, as you were talking to her?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And therein lies the humor.
And therein lies the rub.
The rub. The rub.
Okay. It seems like you all have not really been in this studying mode, nor have we. So, no judgment.
just a feeling of mild emptiness that will grow in intensity as time goes on. But as long as we, we'll be fine. If you don't know what this is, you don't know pain. Right, Bird?
Yes.
Thanks, Bird. Okay. Don't worry. I'll get it. I'll get to it real soon. Yes, you will, Smurfing. Yes, you will. Okay. So, I'm a little disappointed that I ruined our overlay situation, but Smurfing, just so you know, we can pull up. Not tonight. I can't pull up anything online, but I can pull up. I don't know why this is working now, but it's working now, so that's cool. I can pull up people's. That's not what I wanted. Questions like this, and then we can kind of go over questions, if that's what you're into. So, if you got something you're working on or learning about, we can we can talk about whatever this is. I don't know what this was. This is a question from, honestly, a month ago. So, you don't have to worry about this one. But, we have about 5 minutes left, so a little more. So, ask any last minute questions. I mean, we'll also be here tomorrow and Thursday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and then it actually continues in a similar pattern to that for time immemorial. Is it immemorial or immemorial? Immemorium, Bird.
I think it's in memoriam. No, I don't know.
It's an M?
Yeah.
Time immemorium.
Wait, no, time immemorial.
Yeah.
I just did. Yeah.
You were right, Brendan. We should have Googled it. Camera guy to the rescue. .com. Okay. Any last words from Fred, Bird?
Did we tell them that he was born in Cleveland?
No.
Tell them.
Fred was born in Cleveland. No, that's not even true.
Yes, it is.
No, not talking about that.
What's not true?
6 to 7:30 p.m. EST for the summer. Those are our summer hours. So get it through your skulls.
Skulls.
Yep, get it in there. Don't let it back out.
Don't take out your eyeballs.
Keep the eyeballs in.
Smurfing.
Thanks
I'll
for
be
the
seeing
stream,
you quite
gentlemen. I'll be
soon.
seeing you quite soon.
That sounds kind of ominous.
very ominous.
Very like a whale.
Therein lies the rub. Wait, I'm not gonna. Don't worry.
Ow.
Therein lies the rub. Very good. Brush up on linear algebra. Oh, yeah, coming right back at you. Don't forget about the eigenvectors and the eigenspaces.
And the eigenvalues.
And the eigenvalues. Yeah.
And the eigenhowers.
And the eigendiagonalization.
The President Eigenhowers.
Yeah, I wish.
He always stood like, I can't really do it, but I assume like this.
Diagonally?
Well, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like your German accent.
Do you? I think it's couldn't possibly not be offensive, you know.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Since there seem to be no other questions, we might as well call it.
We're gonna call it. We're gonna
Calling
call it. All right, it's been called. Fred Triangle, always a pleasure.
Red Triangle. Pleasure as always.
So do you want to do a We Are Nerdish? Bum, 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 bum.
We are nerds.